finished the race to validate his start. Josh Amberger, pretty safe in 20th place. But for Patrick Nielsen, Jan Frodeno and Andy Butcherer, they've got some work to do. Jan Frodeno also just needs to finish the race to validate his spot. So we've got a little bit of work to do today for some of our top liners.
And remember, Greg, just 4,000 points on the line, or win the race, you're automatically in. So no matter where you lie, you can win it and go. As we look across here, Miranda Carfrey, she's joining us on the Facebook watch. Thanks very much, Rennie. And she's saying go Ty. Of course, a Boulder athlete trained, and as well as Miranda Carfrey. So those athletes kind of rooting for one another.
So she's up late at night in Boulder, Colorado. So we probably know that she's feeding Izzy right now, as Tim O'Donnell is snoozing on the couch.
And there we go. There's our women. That's the top 5, and you're right. First on the KPR is Daniela Reef, winning in Kona last year. Sarah Crowley, so much promise, such an incredible season. She won 2 Ironman regional titles last year. She's just kind of towing the line for the first time this year. Sarah True, our Olympian from the USA, really talented, really hardworking, super fast, podium at Ironman 70.3 Worlds. How well can she go at the full? And then 2 Germans, Greg. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great day for these women, especially the Germans. They're in for a great day. They're going to be probably chasing a Swiss lady, the Swiss Miss herself. That's Daniela Reef, but lots to talk about today. It's going to be a fantastic day, not only with the Kona point system, but these athletes are vying for their chance to win $150,000 total prize pool in US dollars, as we're just under 3 minutes to go before we get our professional men underway. So Jan Frodeno, Andy Butcherer, Patrick Langer, just 3 of the Germans ready to go. They are set for a start down here in the Langener Waldsee, just outside of Frankfurt. There's Patrick Langer lining up there. We can see that Jan Frodeno's got the black cap. Also, Patrick Langer's in the white cap. Andy Butcherer in the green cap. Patrick Nielsen in the yellow cap. Josh Amberger.
G'day, Zwifters. I'm Shane Miller, GP Alama, and welcome to Stage 2 of Tour de Oz.
And we
Today's
saw
stage
video
takes in
interview
the
with
Watopia volcano climb route.
Josh
22.8 kilometers, 14.2 miles. With a flat start, there is a bit of a hill climb near the end. So hold that wheel and enjoy the fast run into the finish.
Burger to make it spicy on the swim. I think that's exactly what we'll see, Jan and Josh getting away and making it spicy. Andy Butcherer, an incredible swimmer, can
you
keep
like that
up,
word?
But will he
Spicy.
want to? There they are, Greg, on the line as we're getting ready to tow off here in this incredible 17th running of the Minova Ironman European Championship, Frankfurt.
As they get ready for a start there, Mike, you see that they're going to go out in a direction to the north. They will make a couple of turns to their left-hand side. They will come back into the finishing area. They will head out for this second loop out to the other direction. So on the way back in on the first lap, they will be swimming straight into the sun. So navigating will be key today in their way around the race. So there we go. We're underway with our men's elite division here at the Minova Ironman European Championship, Frankfurt.
That's right, Greg. And we talked about some of these other athletes that are in the seeded caps. Everyone else is going to be in orange. So we expect these athletes not only to be overall contenders, we've given those color-coded caps, but also folks that we want to keep an eye on in the water. We've got spotters out on the boat that help us out. They pick out those numbers and they get up close. But for those of us that are just staring at this television camera here on Facebook Watch, all we can do is look at those caps. To sum up what you said, Greg, black is Jan Frodeno, white for Patrick Langer, Andy Butcherer in green, as well as Josh Amberger, in red. Look at this incredible image of that beautiful water as these athletes, a nice temperature really for the water, and they're
really
just taking off, putting everything to it.
Yep, everything into it right now as they approach the 200-meter marker right now. The course record in the swim is held by Jan Seberson way back there in 2012. He swam a 42.17. And the women's, well, surprise, surprise, Lucy Charles does not have that record. Amanda Stevens does from the USA, 45.04. That was set in 2012.
And you can see Amberger getting away already, about a half a body length. Will it stick? Time will tell. But the man in red, he is after it. Nothing to lose today because he already competed and got second place at our Ironman African Championship in back in April. So Josh already secured his spot to Kona. He's here to race, and this guy always races assertively off the front. Why not go for it from the gun?
Yeah, exactly. And I would imagine that the black cap of Frodeno wants to get right after Amberger because Amberger's going to be setting the pace. And Jan Frodeno, remember when he did race this, he was the one that set the pace the whole way. Now, if he's got somebody to sit on and, just navigate his way around, then his mind's going to be taken off that. So you can look at the red cap by Amberger and Frodeno in the black cap.
And that's right. And you can see that red. See that yellow cap of Patrick Nilsson just off the back. As we look at the women, he's bringing it back. You can see the line on the ground. Everybody has to stay behind that line. So right here in the light blue cap,
there's Danny Bird right there.
You can see Daniela Reef, our 3-time Ironman world champion, on the start line, looking across the field.
Yep, Crowley lining up to the green cap, and right beside her was Sarah True from the USA. Look out for Sarah to be one of the fastest swimmers there. She is in the purple cap on the far side there, and they just set. There are only 2 minutes in arrears from our professional men. Then we will have an 8-minute gap between our rolling start there with our age groupers. So let's get ready for a start here, Mike.
That's right. Here we go. And some beautiful images, Greg. I love this straight into the sun shot. And they're off into the water. A couple of quick strides before making the dolphin dive. Something that is an underrated sort of skill set to have. Those of us that are not sort of born and raised in Australia, you don't have that sort of flowing through your blood. But these women did incredible with it. Right off the front, Daniela Reef in the white cap. You can see, looked light blue to me earlier, but it's a white cap, and she's right away taking that lead. We did mention that Rachel McBride from Canada has been there, really racing well this season. She won the Ironman 70.3 in Victoria just 3 weeks ago, and she is someone that I think will be able to stick towards the front. But look at right away, you see a nice little group. Daniela Reef, I think, asserting herself early.
I tell you what, Daniela Reef has really gotten after it this morning. And Sarah True, you can see she's trying to get onto the back of the feet of Danny Bird there right now. And there she goes, just straight onto the feet there. So Daniela Reef is off to a great start. Sarah True right onto the feet of Daniela Reef. Rachel McBride right up there as well. Sarah Crowley just dropping back into about 6th to 7th position at the moment. So our women's are way underway here in the main over Ironman European Championship Frankfurt for 2018. And look at the beautiful water there. Great overhead shots.
Oh, they sure are. And this is that really painful part of the race here, about 150 meters into it, where you just have to keep the pressure on. And all the way, this is a nice long stretch where you've got 500 meters before they have to make that first turn. And so 500 meters is enough. When the turn is early, often it gets a little bit kind of tight at that turn. You get a lot of women trying to beat each other up. But now as you hit that first buoy, you see you got a long stretch, 500 meters to sort of settle in before they hit that turn. Looking back at the men, Greg, look what we've seen here. Amberger off the front.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a little surprised that Frodeno, didn't get after Josh Amberger there and hang on to him. He's going to have his work cut out now. He's towing about 8 athletes right behind him. So Amberger making the early lead in our men's race as we stretch out in single file along here at the Langen Voldsee. This is our host for the opening discipline of this year's race here, celebrating 17 years of this great race here in Frankfurt. And today promises to be one of those special days. I've been calling it a barn burner for the ages. It is going to be on for young and old right from the start here with Josh Amberger, and the pressure will not ease up right until the final lap on the run coming up this afternoon when we finish in the Roma-Platz. Today's race will take on some incredible shots around here in Frankfurt. The skyline will just be one of them in the EZB, the European Central Bank building, the Friedberg right around where Elvis Presley used to reside when he was in the U.S. Army. And then also the Roma-Platz is one of the oldest places in Frankfurt, the old city of Frankfurt. and the hell when they go up Maintal. And don't forget about Heartbreak Hill in Bad Weibel.
I won't forget about that. How about that little message just popped in, Greg? And that was Gwen Jorgensen, our 2016 Olympic champion, switching from triathlon over to marathon training. She just came top 5 over at the Peachtree U.S. Champs there with a low 33-minute 10K. Congrats, Gwen, as she's shouting out to who? Sarah True, the Iron rookie who's in here tackling this race for the very first time. I think Sarah True, we know she's trained hard. She's also well prepared to travel over and race in Europe. A lot of the U.S. athletes don't do that, but she absolutely is someone that's going to be familiar with that from her days of ITU racing.
Australia's Josh Amberger. He leads the race right now in the opening discipline at 3.8 kilometres as we see him just tearing up the Langenewaldsee here. There's Frodeno wearing that black cap, and you can see right on his feet there is Patrick Nilsson from Sweden. There is Patrick Langer sitting on 4th feet there. There he is in the blue outfit. You can see that he's right in there where he wants to be. And Andy Betcherer, he's right up there in this group as well. So all the German leaders are in there, but they're all following the 2-time Ironman world champion, Jan Frodeno.
That's right, and we do have, folks, some great shots here as we tuck in there and just have a look at what these kinds of paces are. That's Lenga, and just exactly how frantic it almost looks when you get right into his face. The water's cheered up, and he's just taking him over. So you sort of say, well, what's the hardest part? Well, really, the entire swim is pretty much on. Some of the faster, as we said, Amberger, he wants to get away and make these guys hurt. We knew it was going to be spicy. We'll come back to that word. Jan Frodeno said it, and now he's finding himself, a few steps back of the lead. Look at this right off the back, someone getting dropped.
Yeah, you can see that right now. That does look like Betcherer, one of our, leaders. You can see we've got the different coloured caps with those guys right now, but it's Amberger who's leading to the far buoy out to the first turn. They're going to make 2 left-hand turns before coming out of the water, the Australian exit, they call it. Then they'll be running out to the other side of the course there, Mike. The longest side of the course in the Langenewaldsee today. But there goes Josh Amberger. He's leading the race right now. This may be the 17th edition of the event, but it's got 5 more slots available for the World Championships this year, offering 80 slots to the World Championship coming up on October 13th. It is Germany's biggest race, and don't forget about Ironman Hamburg coming up a little bit later on this year. Going to be a very good race as well. Hamburg always gets behind their athletes and their races, so we can't wait to see that take off this year. But it's all Frankfurt today.
That's right, Greg. That race we'll be bringing live coverage to you from, and that's on the 29th of July, so just 3 weeks away. And think about this for a second, folks. We're on Facebook Watch, Ironman Now channel. If you haven't told your friends to join in and subscribe, please do so, because this is race number 3 in a long line of 16 events. We're bringing coverage this as he makes that turn. Josh Amberger around that far turn, a short trip over before another left turn, and then straight back. He completes a 1,500-meter loop. That's the distance, a shorter loop before he hits that beach, runs around to the cheers of the crowd, dives right back in, and he has the longer portion that he has to get around out there, Greg. But look at that. What a lead.
Yeah, around about 28 seconds on that lead there. So that's going to calculate out to be about a minute or so when he hops out of the water. So that might be about a minute and a half at the end of the swim, or even 2 minutes today. So surprised to me that Frodeno is just sitting back a little bit. He might be a little tentative. And don't forget about Jan. He had, unfortunately, a very bad accident just a couple of weeks ago. He sustained, quite a few stitches, in the eye socket on the bottom and on the top of the eye socket as well. I think it was a total of 10 stitches altogether, and also suffered some other injuries with it, but he's good enough to go today. He said he was okay to start the race, and we know that the champion that he is, he will be out there giving it 100% for sure. But you can see now, Amberger leads in the Langenewaldsee, and our women are underway as well. You can see on the other side of the course at the moment, Daniela Reif still leads Sarah True, and they have a little gap on the rest of the field. So coming up at 6:40 a.m. local time, the 3,000 athletes will get their day underway here at the Langenewaldsee for the main over Ironman European Championship Frankfurt. And what a sight that is going to be.
Well, that's right, Greg. And of those 3,000 plus athletes, 1490 come from Germany. No surprise there. The second place country, it's a tie actually between Italy and Spain, 240 athletes, with France, I say France, just behind, 230. And they're off. The rolling start underway. This should take a while to get those 3,000 athletes in. They
Yes.
space them out well, and they're diving and dolphin diving, just as you saw those pros.
Yep, they're underway now, so we'll get those 3,000 age group athletes underway for their chance to qualify. 80 slots to Kona this year, was previously 75, so we've got 5 more than normal. We've got the first transition being here at the Langenewaldsee. The second transition will be down on the main river in Frankfurt itself. Today's bike course, it is 5 kilometres longer than normal because we have a construction site in the city of Carbon, and there was no other way to, direct the roads around to make the 180 kilometres. So today, 185 kilometres, 2-loop bike course before they head off onto their 4 loops in the inner city on the main river on the run.
Absolutely. And one of the cool stats today about these age group athletes, we actually had to add a category. This new age group is the 85 to 89 because our oldest athlete on the start line today.
Isn't that incredible?
It's unreal. He's bib number 450. Put him in your Ironman tracker on your app and follow Antonio Tellerini. This guy, 85 to 89. I'm so excited to see this guy's from Italy. His club is the CUS Pro Patria Milano Triathlon. And wow, good luck. Get it done.
I tell you what, it's going to be awesome to watch that. Don't forget, we have a 10 o'clock finish line. It's only a 15-hour race here in the Romerberg. That will be our finish line area with a great stadium that's been built in there to host not only a fireworks celebration, but a great party. There's a dance party that happens all night long there, so it's an incredible finish line. Germany has over 1,500 athletes in the race today. The second country was Italy with 240, then Spain. France and Israel have over 200 athletes, 180 from the UK and 97 from Belgium.
You know, we've had on Facebook the last couple weeks, we've had a lot of Israeli athletes chiming in, and it's been fun to see. There's obviously a vibrant triathlon community there, and so no surprise to see a couple hundred athletes as we get a nice close shot of our race leader. And talk about a smooth stroke. We analyze these strokes all the time, but in this nice smooth water where there's very little chop, very little current, the wind is not affecting it, he's just cranking a very fast turnover, smooth stroke. Josh Amberger loves to be up front, and he's doing that. He'll try and stay up front on the bike as long as he can, and that's not to say he can't the whole day, but he will absolutely keep the gas pedal to the metal as just he's that kind of racer. And I think he always believes that his best race, his best satisfaction is going to come from having gone as hard as he can.
So there you can see the beautiful overhead shots. Josh Amberger right in the middle of the screen right now, heading from right to left as he makes his way back into the Australian exit, as they call it, when they will run out of the water underneath the flag and then back in to complete the second loop, which will be in the different direction, actually. And he's got a pretty good lead right at the moment. It's just over 30 seconds, and there he is on screen, right on cue, Josh Amberger from Australia.
That's right, and some of the other stats that you were looking at earlier, Greg, is just the number of first-timers that are in there. Looks like we've got about 1,400 first-timers tackling this course, and we get that question a lot through the Facebook feed. What race would you recommend for my first Ironman? Do you think I should go for fast, for hard? And had a nice debate with a fellow last week where he was saying, hey, I really believe you should do your hardest race first because then you know you can do anything. And he said, try Lanzarote for your first. I was sort of afraid just to acknowledge that comment. To me, the distance is challenging, so find one that inspires you, that fits with your training schedule, your travel schedule. That's probably the best advice.
Yeah, there's Patrick Langer on screen right now, as we can see. Just got a very nice little stroke happening, a nice rating. He's not really having to navigate that much, but he is putting his head up about every fourth or fifth stroke, just making sure that he's on the feet of the next swimmer in front. He knows exactly where he's going, and look at that, Ironman now. It's hashtag #IamEUChamps Race Day. Where are you tuning from? We want to know where you're tuning in from, and my guess is that you're tuning in from Europe at the moment because you would be on the right time zone.
That's right. If you're back in the USA, you are up late, and these athletes aren't going to be up as late as some of our athletes. These guys will be done in the round about 8 hours. Last year, 7 hours 41. Of course, a little bit shorter bike course this year, a tiny bit longer, but still, we expect 7:50, I would say, or certainly if it gets a little hot and things slow down, a 7:55, but I'm guessing we'll see sub 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4 athletes off the front there, of course, behind our race leader. But remember, yellow cap is Patrick Nielsen, and this is an athlete that's very interesting. When I see someone that has the kind of performances he does, he runs so well. He races under 8, low 8s. He's so good. When you look at his results, always good. Or it's a DNF. And that's, to me, when I say, all right, he's a little bit inconsistent. What's the missing piece? It's fascinating. We'll find out if he has that full piece of the puzzle today or if he'll come up a bit shy.
All right, so David Levine is tuning in from Boulder, Colorado. Welcome, David, to the show. And don't forget to interact with us here on Facebook Watch. And we are the Iron Man Now channel. So looking at Patrick's results last year, you know, he swam a 47.15, he had a 4.17 on the bike, and he had that fastest run of a 2:40.58. So we know that he does come from behind. He sort of leaves it, you know, he gave up 15 minutes to Sebastian Kinley last year. So if he improves on that a little bit, you know, he could put himself in the race a little bit earlier on, maybe enforce a little bit of pressure on the rest of the pack there. So Josh Amberger, he's the one that's applying all the pressure right now. There goes the emoji. Oh, that's because Amberger is full-on pedal to the metal at the moment right here in the Langen of Altsee.
That's right, and if you look again, I sort of enjoy examining recent results to sort of see what kind of place the head is. Patrick Nielsen, of course, third last year. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 3 DNFs on the 70.3 this year. So we haven't seen his form yet. He has started well, of course, with a great swim. But until we see him get to the finish line, we just don't know what kind of shape he's in. He is an athlete that did manage to get that top 10 last year in Kona, 8th place, and he's someone that just has the skills across. His PR, Ironman Copenhagen, 7:49. We know he's got the goods.
Yeah, well, you remember, Mike, this is one of the main races. This is a championship race. This is one of the races that offers 4,000 points. It is one of the races that offers $150,000 total prize money, and it is the biggest race in Europe. This is the race that they're all peaking for before they peak out in October again for the Ironman World Championship. So you know today everybody is in shape, they are ready to go, and now they are ready to attack the second loop of the swim.
That's right, and we are going to see this. I think they used to just call this getting out of the water, but doesn't it sound so much better? An Aussie exit, first to be done by an Aussie athlete. So this young man is cranking it, and he's going to come out, and we're going to get to see an actual time split on the ground to these athletes behind. There's a lot of tactic involved here, too, because it's not easy to all of a sudden transition from being in the prone position, cranking with your arms, to running through. Here's Josh Amberger right on ground.
Yeah, 27:30s when he started, running out of the water there. You can see he had a little bit of trouble, as we were talking about at the top of the show. You know, they were swimming straight into the sun on the way back, so he had a little bit of trouble navigating the swim exit there, but no trouble navigating this way as he heads out for the second lap. Now, when Jan Frodeno comes in, you can see that he's towing Nielsen right in there, and Patrick Langer is the fourth swimmer in the group, and another orange cap is in there as well. We'll give you that number as soon as they get out. Could be Nick Castellane, it could be someone else, but they're going to stand up around about 48 seconds. There he goes, 48 seconds down on Josh Amberger right now. So the two-time Ironman World Champion, the 2017 Ironman World Champion, they're both in this group. Is it going to be mano a mano today? It's just the start of this race. And there goes Langer. He's already picked up that spot on the way back through.
And it looks like we do, in fact, have Nicholas Castellane in there, and that's Jan Frodeno's training partner. That's right on the feet there. So Amberger, and he's got the gap back, 45 seconds. Patrick Nielsen in third, Patrick Langer in fourth, fifth place Nick Castellane. That's a pretty elite crew right there, already in to lap number 2.
Nick Castellane hails from Mudgee, New South Wales, about 3 to 4 hours drive outside of Sydney, Australia, and he finds himself in fourth position of that group there, but in fifth position overall. As we can see now, Josh Amberger has built up a 48-second lead in the early going of the main over Ironman European Championship here in Frankfurt. Jan Frodeno is in second place. Patrick Langer moved up into third place there with Patrick Nielsen right on the shoulder, and you can see Nick Castellane just sitting right back there in fifth place.
And Greg, it looks like sixth place out of the water, Ty Butterfield from Bermuda, and then Andy Betcherer. So those two athletes lost a minute 12, minute 13. And when you see something like that for a guy like Andy Betcherer, it's not likely, it's not common, I should say. The guy's a great swimmer, but I will put a little bit of a wager and say that the man's going to find his way to the front. We saw that when he chased Kienle last year. We've seen him in there. He sometimes just has an inconsistent swim, but the guy he's trained under the same coach as Kienle, and he's in great form. He had a really rough injury last year, Ironman 70.3 Santa Cruz. He was running and had a serious injury, sat out of Kona, and then this is kind of his comeback season again. So we've seen a little bit of an up and down career for the German, but a fun guy to cheer for. And that really spells it out right there. That's what 45 going on 50 seconds looks like. That is almost 100 meters. We're getting close to that 100-meter gap. Does it matter? You know, sometimes for an athlete like Josh, he's going to hit the bike. He's going to feel that out of sight, out of mind momentum, and he can take off, and really it will buoy him throughout those first several kilometers of the bike. Now, on the other hand, Frodeno has company. That company is accountability. It makes things just a tiny bit easier. So, and here we go, Greg. Look at this. We've got some things shaken up. It looks like Castellane is coming through to try and take a pull up front.
Yeah, looks like it, Castellane. He was last into the water on the second group there, but now he's coming up on the shoulder. There's a recap. That was Jan Frodeno coming out of the water, and there goes, here he is, Patrick Langer, the 2007 Ironman World Champion, followed by Nick Castellane from Mudgee, just outside of Sydney, Australia. But it was Amberger. Jan Frodeno 45 seconds down, and Patrick Langer at 49 seconds down at 1.5 kilometers into the race.
That's right, and we will soon see these women because they were only a 2 or 3 minute start back. I had like 3 minutes on my watch, but let's check this as they come through, and that's a good look there at that group of 4 women. So we'll see these women hit shore. We've got the tracker running. Folks, once again, I'll remind you that if you don't have the Ironman tracker downloaded to your mobile device, please do so because it's a super way to keep track of this event. You can log in, you get push notifications of all the athletes you want to know how they're doing. So you follow those athletes and you get that update on the spot. So definitely something to look at. And here we go. We'll check back in. I'll correct myself. This is that front pack. There. Well, here we go. Now here's back for the women, and you can see again that cap up front of Daniela Reef, and then we've got Sarah Crowley in the green cap, and that's interesting. She's right there, and we've also got actually it looks like 3 purple caps in here.
Okay, we definitely got Sarah Crowley in there, but my guess is that Daniela Reef and Sarah True are off the front there. And this is our chase pack, and we can see that, you know, there's Danny Bird and also Sarah True going through there right now. So they got off to a pretty quick start there, Mike, and the other women weren't able to hold on. So we know that Daniela Reef and Sarah True are about to stand up and lead around at the early part of this race in our women's division here. Our professional women are just about to start their second lap of the swim here in the Langenwaldsee.
That's right, and here they go. We'll be able to get another split, and of course the tracker's going to tell us, but Danny Reef on solid ground. Sarah True, her first Ironman right on her feet. I don't expect those two to separate from one another, catching one of the male professional athletes in that orange cap. Again, not a surprise at all. These women, incredible swimmers, and I expect their time to be well up there at the top of the ranks. But this orange cap from the pro man could dive right in and stand to get a little bit of company as these two women tackle that longer second lap.
Yeah, so Daniela Reef led through Sarah True, so it was 21:30 at the turn. There it was 21:31 for Sarah True, and then it was our chasers coming through. But let's just wrap up the top 10 swimmers out of the first lap for our men's division right now. Josh Amberger was at 19:02. Then it was Jan Frodeno at 45 seconds. Patrick Nielsen, Patrick Langer, and Nicholas Castellane were the top 5. Then it was Tyler Butterfield. Andy Betcherer was down a little bit further than what we had expected at 1:13. And then it was Mark Bosted from New Zealand and Wouter Monchi and Philip Courtney from Switzerland rounding out the top 10 at 2 minutes.
And thanks for coming in and joining us. We've got athletes from all over the globe. Welcome, Edward Blues. Good luck training for Ironman number 7 over there at Ironman Florida. So all the best as this chase pack has hit the ground. 2 purple caps followed by that green cap of Sarah Crowley and another purple cap right behind. That 4th athlete was Rachel McBride. The giveaway there is the tattoos that she's got on that arm. What a fast swim for these women. They're really not that far back at all. Looks like about a minute 8.
Yeah, so it was Katja Konshank, and she was at, it was 108 down from our leaders there, Sarah True and Daniela Reef. And then it was Eva Bugdahl. She was in 4th place at about 109. Then at 111 was Sarah Crowley. Rachel McBride at 111. And there she is, Annie Haug, the Iron rookie from Germany, at 131.
And boy, is that going to be a fun battle to watch, because we know she's coming hard after, even through the swim, but she's coming hard on solid ground. That run, an incredible weapon to her credit. How about people joining us all the way from the Czech Republic? Radek, I'll just stay with your first name because I know it, but congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Radek, training for some Ironmans over in that part of the world as well.
It's not that far from Frankfurt, you know.
Well, it's not, but it's just, hey, did I say I was a geography student, or did I say I was a commentary,
it's all good.
Ironman analyst? Hey, Greg, thanks for that. And as we look at this pack of 4,
keeping you honest.
Keep me honest. As we look at this pack of 4, you don't see this often. These guys are all, there's 2 abreast, there's 2 and 2. So not something that you see often. When we saw that long string of athletes at the beginning of the men's race, we knew that pace was hot. Now we see 2 and 2. Either someone's unwilling to pass the lead, or they're just kind of not going nearly as quick. But what it looked like a little while back as we zoomed in was that we actually had Nick Castelline trying to come through and take the lead for his training partner, Jan Frodeno. You never know also, Greg, as we look at the specifics here, as we look at those specifics, the training, the edge that you may lose, just a tiny bit of that edge that Frodeno may have lost when he had to spend some time out of the water. You take stitches in the face, you can't get right back in. Not to mention when you do get right back in, you may not actually be able to swim as well. You may have to kind of, so to speak, flop about until you finally can get in, get the feel, do some kicking, kind of make do. So his training may have lost a bit of an edge, which would explain perhaps why he's not on the heels of Amberger. Also, Amberger, as we said, it's just not that easy to sit on this guy's feet. Not many men can do it.
Yeah, look at that, Castellane and, Frodeno right there at the moment. Nielsen sort of dropped back a little bit. You got Patrick Langer just sitting in a really, really nice spot at the moment. And looking pretty comfortable. There we go. Daniela Reef from Switzerland leads our women. Sarah Drew from the USA. Katja Konshank from Deutschland, from Germany, in 109 down from our leaders at the moment. So fantastic stuff from our leaders in our women's race right now.
And then what about our athletes coming here from Ecuador? Why aren't you getting ready to go do that race there? I'm at 70.3 Manta is tomorrow morning. Maybe you're up late, maybe you're nervous, but as you guys are commenting in some great stuff, people coming to us from Montgomery, Alabama. That's a long ways away, but congratulations to you. So Jose Roberto Daza, hello and welcome.
Well, there you go. So just some more of our athletes just coming out of the water now. We've got some age groupers just about to make the turn as well here in the Langen of Oldsea, but right now we can see that it's all the way from Canada, doing my first Ironman in 3 weeks. This is so inspirational. Well, thanks very much, Matties, for joining us right now from Canada. We'd love to have all your comments today. Thank you for interacting with us. We'll be here all day long here at the Main Over Ironman European Championship. We want to know what you feel about not only our live coverage, but what you're seeing in the Main Over Ironman European Championship today.
That must be the beautiful Ironman Canada Whistler that you're doing. And another one, Andrew Semenik. That's right. He's coming from Madison, Wisconsin, home of what he says the best Ironman on the circuit, and I can't disagree. It's definitely in the top 5.
That is a great
top
argument.
5, top 3.
That's
it's
a great argument.
area.
Yeah, that with Lake Placid and a couple of the others. Coeur d'Alene was a great race. There's a lot out there on the circuit. Chattanooga has to be one of those that you could argue about as well. But right now, there's no arguing with this young man from Australia, Josh Amberger. He's the one out there spreading his wings. He's got a beautiful cadence going on the arm turnover there. As we can see now, we've got a split in the field. Look at this. This looks like we've got a couple just going off to one side of the race course.
Yeah. And you can see
a couple off to the other.
And you can see, Greg, on the right there, that is going to be the colored cap of the orange cap of Nick Castelline. So that's on the right. And then on the other side, we have the black cap of Jan Frodeno. So as these two athletes kind of pair up, 4 athletes pair up with one another, it could be a matter of someone thinking they have a better line. It could just be a loss of focus for a second. But again, it's definitely rare, and you can sort of see that they're coming back together. Now suddenly Frodeno will find himself in 3rd position as they group back up. But you know, it's I think again we're just kind of, we're not seeing anyone break away so much. We're just seeing a little bit of a disjointed pack, and they're losing more time, I think.
I don't know, but this is only my guess. But Castellane and Jan Frodeno are training partners. Maybe they went off to the side so that you know, one of them could get a break on the rest of the field or not. But I tell you what, it's Castellane that has gone off the front. It's Nielsen in the yellow cap, and they come back together again. There's Frodeno sitting in 3rd position. And also Patrick Langer. He's just sitting there. Look, Patrick Langer looks very, very comfortable right now. He hasn't done any surging, nothing like, you know, Castellane and Frodeno have just done. But looks like Jan Frodeno just got that nice long stroke that he normally has, and he's as happy as Larry right now, just sitting there, just stroking away.
Larry, who?
Larry happy.
And as we look here, no, it's good. So these athletes, as they're coming around this turn, and this is another one that you sort of have to play your cards right. There's always going to be a hard surge into the buoy, and you have to kind of keep a little bit of focus. And there you can see at that point,
look at Langer.
And right there, that was Patrick Nielsen kind of getting edged out to that side. So remember, folks, what we're looking at right now, the front, the orange cap, that's going to be Nick Castellane. Right behind, black cap, Jan Frodeno. Right behind, that's Patrick Langer. The blue suit and a white cap. Keep these numbers and colors in mind. And then the other Patrick Nielsen. So 2 Patricks out of 4 athletes in this front group. But Patrick Nielsen was nearly, you know, kind of bumped out. And it's tough because these little things, it's just all about sort of energy conservation and energy exertion. And every little bit matters. You want to come out of the water, obviously in good position, but also having as much possible as you can when you tackle that bike ride. The fitness goes a long ways, but you can't drain the tank too much.
Yeah, I like those comments there, Mike. And, you know, the one thing that Patrick Langer didn't do there was lose his cool. And, you know, as Patrick Nielsen moved out to the right there, Langer took the inside line. He cut through the buoy there, nice and legally, of course. And just made his way into 3rd place in this group. This is the chase group. They're all after Josh Amberger at the moment, and we know that the race record, 42 minutes plus, set by Jan Siebersen just a few years ago. He still has that record, and I tell you what, he's still racing along as well in the over 40s. He qualified for Kona last year in one of the races in China, and as a matter of fact, I believe it was Chujing, and we'll probably see Jan Siebersen off to a few of those races again. Now look at this. This is a good indication